This meeting is being recorded and will be uploaded to the Biddulph Town Council YouTube page. The aim is that decision-making should be transparent and in the public domain, which will involve more of our community in local democracy. By being in this council chamber, you are consenting to being recorded and for your image to be added to YouTube. The images and sound may be used for training purposes. Any views expressed are the speaker's own and do not necessarily reflect the view of Biddulph Town Council. Please view the guidance on recording in public meetings policy if you need more information. Now, just before we get to the first point on the agenda, I know we said it at Town Council, but I am sitting here obviously because that's our chair, Councillor Hart, is not with us due to being unwell. And I'm sure I can say on behalf of everybody that we want to wish Andrew all the best and a speedy recovery once more. He's fought once, so we can hope that and be sure that he will fight again, which is fantastic.
Chair.
Okay, so over to the agenda. Item 46, apologies and approval of any substitute members. Sarah.
Apologies from Councillor Smith, Councillor Hart, Councillor Norris-Lord.
Thank you. 47 declarations of interest, disclosable pecuniary interests and dispensations, and other interests. We'll do them all in one go. Do we have any? No, we don't. The minutes of the last meeting, we just approved them at full council, so I'm assuming everybody's happy for me to put my scribe on these now. Oh, there we go. Thank you. Item 49, to receive a book. Oh, sorry. Yes, sorry, you're right. Item 48B, to receive the notes from the Transport Working Group meeting held on Monday, the 13th of October of this year. They are proposed there by the Mayor. Do we have a seconder for those? We do. Councillor Jackson. Does everybody take those as read? Yes, indeed. Thank you. Item 49. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I don't normally do matters arising as such, but obviously in light of the local transport plan, are we going to have an updated position on that as part of this meeting? Because there was an action, wasn't there? I'm just wondering what happened.
There's a Transport Working Group meeting tomorrow with that on the agenda.
Yeah. So where it says briefing note for the Town Council meeting, that means the transport meeting.
No, so the Transport Working Group met in advance of last month's Town Council so that we could take a paper to last month's Town Council and complete the consultation. But there will be an update at the Working Group meeting tomorrow on the consultation we've now completed.
Is that okay, Councillor?
I just wanted to make sure the loop was closed because that bit's missing, that's fine.
Item 49, to receive a verbal update in relation to the development of the new Garden of Remembrance at the Woodhouse Burial Ground. Chief Officer.
Actually, I haven't got one.
Oh, okay.
We sort of, I think we were going to try and keep this on the agenda so that
was still a verbal update. There is not one.
Well, everyone's just doing what we've asked them to do,
Perfect.
Which is nice.
Item 50, to consider responses in relation to 2 county council highways consultations attached. And this is where we turn to.
Yeah, Julie's going to put them on the screen.
Okay, brilliant. We'll do them in the order that that is there, and that is the Halls Road, Station Road 1, traffic calming first. Okay. Okay, I've got 2 councillors, Councillor Yates and Kasiki so far that want to. Are we just going to open it straight up to conversation? Something to.
Do you want somebody to give an update on what the proposal is? Might be helpful, Matt.
The other one.
The other one.
The other one.
Councillor Yates, are you happy to give the update on what the actual proposal is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. If you don't mind, yes. I happened to be county council at the time, and if you remember, the town council were lobbied as part of public participation by a group of concerned residents who lived in Halls Road, the section of Halls Road between where Station Road turns left into Halls Road, that section there. Numerous accidents. Very fortunate that none related in serious casualties or worse, because the amount of damage on the garden walls would suggest that if anybody was walking on a footpath, it would have been very, very serious indeed at the time. And as a consequence, I put forward a part of my DHP allowance to have a look at potential for road safety improvements, whether it be traffic calming, marking or whatever. And as a consequence of that, and as a consequence of a visit with me to actually walk around, this goes for both of them, by Councillor Mark DeVille, who was the Cabinet Member for Highways at the time, we actually walked through potential schemes and effectively got his nod that he would recommend them for inclusion in what would be this year's capital programme. Now, the capital, the budget for this year, which was set by the previous administration, was approved and accepted at the first full council meeting of the current administration, which implies the expenditure for this year. And that is usually par for the course, because incoming and new administrations don't really have the time or way for all to change anything. But it was very pleasing to see that the budget had been approved for this year. It was a carry on from the previous administration, which included the capital projects. Now, I'm surprised that we've got to the stage where it's November and these capital projects are normally have to be done and dusted before winter starts, which is usually the 31st of October, but we are where we are. And where this one is, this one actually has a range of speed cushions on the bank approaching up the Station Road. So before it comes to the severe bend, as it straightens up before the junction with both the Biddle Alleyway and Linden Drive, and just beyond Linden Drive, and the spacing is such to give visibility from effectively bends which have poor visibility. The feeling always is that if you are too close to a bend and you don't know a speed cushion is there, you can hit it at an oblique angle, and that can be considered dangerous. If it's too far away, then people can accelerate around and then not do anything. To augment the use of the Biddle Alleyway, we've also included 2 drop curbs with the sort of pimple paving, so that people who've got issues with sight and visibility can actually feel where those are. Personally, I would have been quite happy to have one extended one directly either side of the alleyway, but we are where we are, and it's a minor change, and I don't think that is particularly detrimental. There's also those drop curbs, access curbs on Sandsdown Close, which leads on Halls Road Plainfields, and there's also drop curbs to allow people to safely cross to go down Halls Road and Station Road into the town centre, and equally on Station Road. They are positioned at the traffic regulation distance away from the junction. You do not want people crossing from the junction. And I do respect Councillor Rogers' comments that people from Washington Close and beyond use the public footpaths, would go down Sandsdown Road and ordinarily cross straight across. However, just because they do that as custom and practice doesn't make it right. And those are positioned to encourage people to look after their own safety. But that's at their one. Traffic regulations state that put there. So I'm happy, very happy with that scheme as proposed. I think it ticks the boxes of what the expectations could be from the county highways team. And I think any modifications and changes will be so minor, it's not worth the potential delay and having it potentially dropped at the next capital project review if this hasn't been done. So that's my stated position on the reasoning, the logic, and the justification.
Thank you very much indeed.
I'm happy to propose that as it stands.
Thank you very much indeed, Councillor Yates. Councillor Kasicki?
I wanted to comment more on Congleton Road.
Oh, right. Okay. Councillor Rogers?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I sort of agree, but just a couple of little tweaks really. It's easier to come over like knives or dead really, but.
Fall over.
Yeah. Just. This one here, the speed cushion here, I hate speed cushions, but they do a job. But the big issue at the moment, people come whistling down Wedgwood Lane far faster than they should do. You know, come around the bend and hit a speed cushion. That could be potentially dangerous. As I said, I don't like speed cushions, but I do think we need another one in Wedgwood Lane to slow that corner down.
I wouldn't disagree with that amendment, actually.
No, I wouldn't.
And you know, and I think it should. I know you're saying legislations, but by the time you've gone over that one, you've got time to speed up again before you go over the old Route 55 train line. I think it should be a bit closer to the train line. Just a couple of comments, really. Thank you.
Councillor Jones?
I was just going to second Councillor Yates to his approval of the scheme. I take on board what Councillor Rogers has said, but I think, again, given what Councillor Yates said, this is approved, it can be done, let's get it done and tweak it after. That would be my...
Always add to.
Yeah, that
As long
would
as
be
we have
my suggestion. I would second what Councillor Yates said.
Can I just come back very quickly? I'm very pleased to see the signage on Halls Road, Station Road Junction, the halt signage. We've been calling for that for many, many years, so I'm very happy with that section of it.
So for those who don't know, there's always been issues about this being considered. People who don't know Halls Road and the fact that it is actually a giveaway sign, traffic coming to Station Road, sometimes shoots absolutely across. So having this little bit of a build out here and an illuminated sign actually improves that road safety tremendously.
Councillor Jackson?
Yeah, thanks to Nigel for all the effort that he put in when he was the county councillor. I fully agree with the additional homes. Well, could we perhaps write to our county councillor with that suggestion, but not to hold up the scheme?
Yeah, as an addendum.
Perhaps, you know, if we write to our county councillor, if they would consider looking at that. We're very happy with the scheme as laid out, but we believe as town council it perhaps could be improved.
Yeah.
With two
On Wedgwood Lane.
It'd be nice if they'd been here, wouldn't it?
Where would you put them on Wedgwood Lane? Let me just be clear about that.
We would put them, there's number 2, there's number 4. You've got to have the equivalent distance from the bend for visibility and safety reasons. So if you extrapolate that there, one would imagine 2, 4, 6, 8, approximately outside number 8.
Leave that up to the experts.
Well, leave that up to the experts, but it'd be a measurement, but based on that's number 2, 2, 4, it'd be around about the position of number 8 based on traffic regulations.
Just a point, I'm seeking clarification, please. When you speak of 2 speed humps, do you mean a pair, one in
Of course,
direction?
of course, one on each side.
Cushions,
Yeah.
either side of the road? Yes, in one location, but either side of the road. Thank you.
Pair as opposed to 2.
Okay, so we are broadly in approval.
Yeah.
But we certainly don't want it slowed down. So yes, go ahead. But at town council, we did wonder if you would consider, and I'm using my words, the addition on Wedgwood Lane to slow them down before they hit the bend. Yeah.
Making it clear that we don't want the scheme held up because then
It's not a deal breaker.
So if I may, I need to go back to the officer. So the officer is the one who's carrying out the consultation. So I will say to the officer then, we're very pleased with the scheme. It's something we've been lobbying for as a town council for a while. We don't want to hold it up in any way, shape or form. We did wonder whether the speed that people come down Wedgwood Lane might lend itself then to an additional pair of cushions, potentially somewhere around number 8. But we absolutely don't want to hold it up. So if that could be put forward as some sort of consideration for the future, marvellous, but please carry on with it as it is.
And that's the proposal.
Yeah.
Everyone in favour?
Yeah.
Could I add that we do write to our county council as well, so that person is in the loop? Because
Copy them in.
but this only happened because an active county councillor got it on the agenda. Now, these guys have still got exactly the same sort of power that our previous county councillors had, So if we
More.
want something doing to that, we should get their weight behind it as well. So that they actually.
More power because they're in government.
Yeah, point of,
So wasn't.
point of information on there, they have full power and influence because they're part of the ruling group.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Not having a go.
No.
so now item 50B, which is Congleton Road Extension.
May I step?
Yeah, again, this was something that our previous county councillor sort of put forward. Therefore, if he will.
I was warned by continuously and reasonably from residents of this area here who were concerned about the speed people were taking what euphemistically is called or locally is called banana bends. And as a consequence, there has been a number of accidents, there has been a number of near misses with pedestrians. For those who frequent that area, and I know Councillor Kasicki goes down that area quite often with the Vicky. This particular pavement here is very narrow and can get quite overgrown and is very poorly maintained by the said county. So we are where we are. The proposal as put forward in the DHP, as described and visited by the previous cabinet member for highways, Councillor Mark DeVille, was because of the straightness of this road and because of the restricted width of the pavement and the potential for overgrown vegetation, was that it would be far more sensible and pragmatic that the restriction starts at Bosley Brook. And we both, while we were there, couldn't understand why, at the time Bosley Brook was constructed, why a Section 106 agreement wasn't put in place to actually do it there and then, because it's so obvious that you're reducing the traffic speed at the point when residential properties start. Now, since this conversation started with these residents, the residents here on the first part of, I would call it the upper Whitehall village, like the lower Whitehall village, they lobbied me as well to say, if they're having some, we want to have some because they go faster on the straight than they do around the bends. You know, so again, that sort of amplified Bosley Brook. The other thing which we put into the mix is that I haven't actually seen the plan application, but there is talk, firm talk, about having an access road, the middle Old Hall coming in off Congleton Road.
Oh, it's probably not appropriate to talk about that.
But if there was ever any accesses put this, having that already as a 30-mile-an-hour zone would be most beneficial, because that would cover. So I don't think that this proposal as is appropriate and is right. I don't think there's any real additional cost to actually extend that, probably a couple of roundels and things. So I think we should actually lobby for the original scheme, which was to Bosley Brook, and actually demonstrate through positioning and lines of sight that is a far better scheme than what's stated there.
I totally agree that it's not appropriate to discuss.
No,
but I do think that the Dye Works development, because that's very much in the public domain, is certainly relevant to this. I'll come to you, Councillor Jones. I've just got to come to Councillor Kasicki first, if that's all right.
I'd just like to echo what Councillor Yates has just said, because I feel it'd be more logical for the speed limit to be extended to Bosley Brook, because the pavement is quite wide at that location. And on the opposite side of the carriageway, there's no hedges to obscure any new signage. So it would be more effective for it to be put there rather than Forge Cottage. Makes far more sense.
Absolutely, Councillor Kasicki. Councillor Jones?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. It's a no-brainer, isn't it? I mean, it doesn't cost anymore. You're going to put the signs there instead of putting them there. There's no additional cost, is there?
well, it's negligible. There might be a couple of repeaters, a couple of roundels, but that's it.
It's absolutely.
Generally speaking, there isn't repeaters for 30-mile-an-hour zones, because once you've got a 30-mile-an-hour zone, the fact there's a street light,
Is it still?
dictates it's 30 miles an hour and the street light's there.
So moving them from there to there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's repeaters for 40 mile an hour, isn't it?
Because it's point of clarification on this. The reason there's repeaters for 40 miles an hour on lampposts is that there is an acronym which is NSL, which is National Speed Limit. National Speed Limit also means no streetlights. So if you're wondering, if a road has national speed limit and you've not been on it, if it's got no streetlights, NSL, it's National Speed Limit. If it has got streetlights, it defaults to 30 miles an hour unless there are roundels on it to say that it's an exception, not the rule. That's why they have.
Councillor Yates, you sound like you've done the speeding awareness test.
Sounds like when I was county councillor, I knew me job.
Councillor Jones and I picked up on that one straight.
Well, speed awareness.
Councillor Rogers.
Yeah, it's all very well and good, doing 30. People are exceeding the speed limit that is set at the moment. How many people are getting reported for speeding? I haven't heard of any. So who's going reporting for speed in excess of 30?
Well, Councillor Jones and I.
Go, didn't we?
Yeah. But he never 40.
Admittedly, it was cameras, admittedly.
Yeah. That's my concern. Who's going to police it?
So, piecing it together, we are, oh, sorry, Mr. Mayor.
This is just a tiny detail point, and it may well have been implied by all those who refer to extending it to Bosley Brook. I take it that you mean extending it slightly north of Bosley Brook so that southbound traffic has a chance to adjust to the lower limit before the junction with that development.
Again, point of clarification, one of the cost considerations, because this potentially could be, it isn't, but the way it's the amendments proposed and it is planned, is that it needs a power supply, and the power supply is almost immediately past Bosley Brook. So unfortunately, the infrastructure just doesn't support going further, and the costs would be pretty high. So again, there's a saying which is being coined at the district council: don't let excellent be the enemy of good. You know what I mean? Let's get something in which the residents are crying out for, which makes a difference. And to answer Councillor Rogers' point, in some respects, it's self-policing by peers, because if you have a line of traffic, you only need one of that line of traffic to be approaching the speed limit, and that controls the speed of everybody else. You're making the assumption that everybody wants to speed, and they don't. I don't.
Councillor Jones.
I don't anymore.
And Adam knows that because he hates following me.
Just a point of information for the mayor. You're supposed to be doing the speed it says when you get to it, not after. You don't start adjusting after you've gone past it.
Yeah,
You're doing that when you get to it.
With respect to Councillor Jones, that was my point for starting it just to the north of the junction, to give people a chance to adjust to that speed by the time they reach the junction.
No,
We're doing 30 by the time they get to Bosley Brook and the signs in Bosley Brook.
if it's up to me, you put speed cameras on the signs.
Anyway, thank you.
Yeah. Councillor Jackson.
Yeah, I think this one is not as time sensitive, so, we could say to them, look at this, whatever. I mean, I know you want to get your job done, but I just wonder, because my worry is there's a name on here, and it's Amy. And my experience is when you're dealing with Amy, if you want to change something that's put forward, it'll be another round of consultation and another zero on the price, perhaps. So, I do agree it should be extended without any shadow of doubt. It makes a lot of sense to do that. My question would be is why did they do it in that? Whatever. So here again, we've got another one where we've got our active county councillors. So if we can get right to them and say that this amenities committee have looked at this and have recommended, if that is what the committee has recommended, that this is extended, and would you use your good officers to make sure this happens, or something along those lines, or something even more diplomatic than I can think of.
Right.
Just to come back, Chair.
Yes, Chief Officer, you may ask a question.
Are you saying you are rejecting this proposal, or are you saying, as you did with the other one, this is fine?
It just needs to be
We don't
further.
want to delay it. needs to be further.
We are delighted to see the proposal put forward. However, we have a recommendation which we would, I would say strongly urge you to consider on these grounds. However, don't let good be the enemy of excellent if it stops you from going. And I do honestly think that it would need to be done within this capital programme this year. Otherwise, it'll get under the stage of review again. And something may well have usurped. They may justify, I'm not saying they would, but they may justifiably have a catastrophe on a railway bridge somewhere else, like they had one closed in Burton for 18 months, and they have to funnel funding to that. So while the funding is available, get it done. But I don't think they put the traffic orders out yet to say they're doing it, but I can't see this as anything other than a negligible financial change. And because of the difficulties with the location and the visibility, it might actually be cheaper to do it from Bosley Brook. We assume every change is more expensive. This is one of those changes because of the not need for those roundels, that this actually may be easier to implement if they take it a little bit further. And you're not going to get pushback from the residents at all.
Yeah, the political will behind it. That's what it needs.
It needs a bit of political will.
Okay, so we're playing this, unless I'm very much mistaken, similar to the Halls Road, where we're saying, yes, we want you to go ahead, but actually we do have perhaps something you should consider, which actually may be even better for you.
Yes.
By doing this.
Yes.
And do that. Okay, so we'll have a quick vote on that. Is everybody happy to with that? There we go. Okay. Brilliant. Item 51, jobs for the lensman.
I've got to go, sorry.
Sorry, no problem at all. With the jobs for the lensman? Councillor Kosicki?
Yeah, on the subject of a hedge on Halls Road, is it actually the town council that have cut that hedge, or is it the county council contractor that's done it? Halls Road, the hedge. Just before Congleton Road.
Oh, yeah,
Absolutely. County.
Yeah, because spoke to Dave Rushton at that meeting in Moreland's house about getting it cut. They seem most reluctant to cut it, and obviously they'd flailed it, and he said he was bemused at how quickly it had grown back. And I suggested, well, if the county council is reluctant to cut the hedge, would it be possible that the town council could do it and obviously charge the county council? And I received a negative response to that suggestion.
Councillor Yates?
The county council could do it that way, but it would have to be funded, because we've done that before. But it would have to be funded by the county councillor for that area, Biddulph North. It'd have to be funded by his DHB. Now, we did some trimming back on the Biddulph Valley Way, didn't we? Towards the end, when I had a little bit of DHB funding left. These proposals weren't as expensive as we originally thought, and we used that for some lensman's work. So if you have a cooperative county councillor with a little bit of funding left, then he could grant it to Biddulph Town Council to pay the lensman.
I think I would suggest that to Councillor Broom.
Yes.
Common sense would suggest, why is there never any regular maintenance schedules in any of these things? Why is it we always have to keep coming back and making requests for these things?
So yes.
Yes, another job for the lensman. If we're doing jobs for the lensman, which the county should be doing, and the county are contracted for doing, the county again, the council tax doing, could he cut back the full length of the Biddulph Valley Way, which is owned by the county, because it hasn't been done this year whatsoever? And up until the 4th of May, it was scheduled to be cut 3 times a year, and it hasn't been trimmed back once.
Perhaps we should touch base with our.
Perhaps we should speak to the county council about it.
I just had volunteers have done the Biddulph Valley Way this year.
Well, not being funny, we didn't publicise it, but ride the lights went ahead because two councillors went down and cleared every single tree which was overhanging for the mile section which we did the ride.
Okay.
That is really beyond the pale.
Do we have any jobs for the Lensman that don't involve the county council? No? Okay. So I come now to, it should be the end of the meeting as we move into confidential items, but I've just spoken to the chief officer. There are no confidential items. So rather than have two stops to the meeting, we'll do it in one. So that's bringing the meeting to a close.